Welcome to... On tonight's Clubhouse Live season premiere, it's a new era for the Packers, and it's a new look for our show. And helping us kick things off tonight in our brand new venue is an old friend. The General finally returns. It's Packers great John Kuhn. It is truly a rebuild for the Pack. The General will share his thoughts on what he has seen so far and what he expects to see as the season gets going. And yes, it's really happening. We are all set to unveil the one-of-a-kind Mean Gene bobblehead. It's time to get season number 15 started. Hey, General, come on in.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Whoa, look at this. Welcome back well, not welcome back, but welcome to the Fox Club inside Neuroscience Group Field in Grand Chute, Wisconsin, home of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the new home for Clubhouse Live. What do you think of this great place? I'm Brett Christopherson with USA Today Network Wisconsin and the Post Crescent. How is everybody doing tonight? It's week one. It's Packers Bears. Are you ready? We got a jam-packed show. We got a fantastic guest and a jam-packed crowd, so we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it real quick. First, how about a big round of applause? We used to have the door openers at the old place. The new place, we have the high fivers. How about members of the Appleton North football team for helping us out tonight? Letting the General get in here. We'll talk about them here in a little bit later in the show. So, we got a lot to talk about, as I said. It's Bears Week, everybody. Who's excited for that? It's Bears Week. Okay, Mean Gene, settle down. Mean Gene in mid-season form already. Hey, preseason slate is behind us, by the way. It was a fun and energetic preseason and training camp, wasn't it? Everybody's a lot of energy. Everybody's excited, enjoying the preseason games. 53-man roster, it's set. Time to start looking ahead to the big week one matchup between the Packers and the hated, the despised, the hapless, the lousy Chicago Bears. A Sunday afternoon tilt on that hayfield known as Soldier Field down in Chicago. Nothing like a rivalry game and a road game to boot to kick off a brand new season. Will Jordan Love be the next Packers quarterback to own the Bears? What do you guys think? We're going to find out. He's following us to the Fox Club. Look at this. It's Happy Vince. He's here. Happy Vince. We've reached another milestone. He's happy for a bunch of reasons. This is our milestone season number 15. How about that? Season 15 for us. He's pumped that we're in this beautiful and spacious new home, the Fox Club, which, by the way, I believe they have a Packers punch or a margarita called Bears Still Suck Margarita. I think Dan the Man's going to get it on. There it is. There they are. So already mixing some fun drinks. We're excited to partner with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. And we're going to unveil, as we said, the Mean Gene bobblehead later in the show. And Mean Gene, our unofficial mascot, he just celebrated a birthday a few days ago, didn't he? So happy birthday, Mean Gene. And if that isn't enough, check out who's going to help us get things ready tonight. It is none other. The General is back. Packers great John Kuhn is here. Hey, first a big thank you to our sponsors, our presenting sponsors. We have Cellcom and Packerland Home Improvement. First, Cellcom's great smartphone event is going on now through October 1st. Get up to $900 when you activate a new line. Savings available on a variety of phones, including top brands. Visit cellcom.com/save for details. And Packerland Home Improvement has delivered superior windows and doors installation service for 50 years. Take advantage of their current special buy 3, get 1 free window or door plus a free Slag electronic deadbolt upgrade with any entry door purchase. Packerland Home Improvement. It matters. It's your home. So I hate to ruin the party, but I have to do it. It is when I have to introduce the other member of our Clubhouse Live crew. It is none other. He's still here. I don't know why he's with us. It is Chicago Bears fan Ricardo Arguello, everybody. Well, your mic's off, and that sounds just right for you. That sounds just good for you. We got his mic on, folks? There we go. Go ahead.
All right. Ooh, that was good. Some feedback. I felt like Hendrix up here.
We're ironing out the kinks tonight here at the new home.
Yeah, we are. It's our first show. So, but Brett, you know, the one thing I did agree with you about in your whole little, you're dissing my Bears, it is a hayfield at Soldier Field. I will agree with that. That place, that turf's terrible.
John knows all about it.
He does know all about it over there.
It's a terrible field down there. So,
yeah.
Your hapless Bears, Ricardo. Why did you follow us here anyway? Which we thought we could ditch you.
It's in the contract. I always try to leave, but you always pull me back in, like the Godfather.
The weird thing is we never even told you we were moving. I just can't believe that you still found your way over here.
I have a good nose. I smelled my way here.
All right. Hey, we have our Packers-Bears bet we're going to have to kind of figure out, right?
Oh, boy. On the spot. Yep.
All right. So our Ricardo Interactive show as always, right?
That's right. So we invite your comments and questions through the live chat. That's online here that I'm managing those things right now. I'll get those questions over to both you and John as they come in. If there's any good ones, though, they got to be good questions, Brett.
Yeah, our hashtag on Twitter or X or whatever it's called is Clubhouse Live, right?
It's X.
Give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Clubhouse Live. We appreciate that. I'm on Twitter at PC Bretzi. He's at Ricardo Delan, and John is at Kuhn J30, right? So we got the Bears welcome mat all ready for John to stomp his feet and bring some good luck to the Green Bay Packers on Sunday afternoon. So let's get our special guest over here to the desk. Our guest tonight, and I'm kind of nervous because he claims that I messed up his intro all the time back like 8 or 9 years ago. So he's gonna listen good here. He spent 12 seasons in the NFL as a tough and hard-nosed fullback who could do it all, right? He could run, he could catch, he could block, he could score touchdowns. He spent 9 of those seasons as a member of the Green Bay Packers. He earned 2 Super Bowl rings, including one as a member of the 2010 Packers, right? Remember that team? Our special guest tonight put together a very productive career, one in which he was named to the Pro Bowl 3 times and All-Pro twice. He was one of the best in the business. He was at one time rated among the top 100 players by NFL Network, wasn't he? Remember that? Our guest tonight, he once starred in a Chunky Soup commercial. You remember that thing? Yes, he did. He is the co-owner of athlete training facilities in Appleton in the Green Bay area. We'll talk about that. Our guest tonight is now Mr. Media with all his roles as a sports talk show host and his involvement with Packers radio and TV networks. He is the pride of Dover High School and Shippensburg University, and he's the pride of Clubhouse Live, too. How about a Clubhouse Live welcome for Green Bay Packers great, future Packers Hall of Famer, current Clubhouse Live Hall of Famer. It is the General. It is number 30, John Kuhn. Please sit down. I got to stand.
I'm wondering, do I sit?
No, you sit.
Well,
I wrenched my back recently, and I'm having a heck of a time sitting down.
But if I sit and you stand, you have the position of dominance, and now it makes me more.
That's how I want it, John.
Should I sit? Should I sit?
It's your call.
I'm going to keep my eye on you the whole time
here.
We
want you to relax.
as I sit down. Okay, there we go.
This is what happens when you get in your 50s now, John. You start wrenching your back. And
hey, John, Brett and dominance never go together in a
Easy
sentence.
now.
Probably not. Probably not.
Stay out of it. Why don't you just drill him a little bit harder when he came in?
I tried to turn his microphone off. You missed that earlier.
Yeah, you did. So, hey, programming. No, welcome to the show. But programming.
Look at this, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Brett. Look at what you guys have done. Look at this amazing crowd. Unbelievable to think where we were. When was I on?
Well, yeah, go ahead. You were on.
This is incredible. What was my last year? Was it 14?
14.
Man, 9 years, and this is what it's turned into. Pretty fantastic. Credit to you guys. Credit to them, though. Look at this.
Credit to me.
This is amazing.
Credit to me, John. All right?
That's something he would say, not you.
Credit to me. Well, I've been hanging around this guy
Well,
too
okay,
long.
now he's rubbing off on you.
You know,
a
lot has changed. I got a lot more gray, a lot more wisdom in the
So
beard.
did I.
So
Yeah,
you're
okay.
getting there too. So, but programming, I just want to make mention that next week our season co-hosts will be here. We have Packers All-Pro return man Keyshawn Nixon and versatile veteran tight end, fullback. I'm not sure what he is, but Josiah DeGore is going to be here as well. So both of those guys are going to be here to get. We're going to talk about Packers' victory over the Chicago Bears in
Yes,
Week 1.
we are. Yeah.
Same time, 6:30, same place, the Fox Club. Man, you love that Kuhn chant, don't you? You love the Kuhn
Especially
chant.
here. Yeah, I mean, it's like they never forgot it. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
I bet you walk down the supermarket aisle, right? You're at Target, you're going down there getting your stuff.
Sometimes. Every now and then, especially if Ricardo's around. Run into him every now and then.
Wasn't there, no, I remember as part of 2014 season, you brought Aaron Rodgers on the show.
Yes, we
did. We had that really big benefit for House of Hope.
Rose a lot of money for charity.
Yeah, we did. We had it at the ballroom at the old place. But I seem to remember a story. Maybe you could kind of tell it again. Wasn't Mike McCarthy initially thinking that he was being booed when he heard the Kuhn chants? Yeah, what happened there?
It was sometime in 2010. I can't remember if it was early or later in the season. That season is when it took off. That's when Packer fans really adopted it. I think it was early on in the season. We were playing Detroit at home. We went out. We started kicking their tails. We were beating them pretty bad in the first half, and they started coming back in the second half. We had a bad second half, and they started coming back. Now, remember, at this time, Packers hadn't lost to Detroit at home in 20, 25 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pressure all of a sudden. You could feel the momentum changing, and we got the ball with about 6 minutes left, and we were able to run out the clock on the ground with a lot of running, and some of it, a couple runs out of myself, and that's when the fans really started doing it. And it wasn't just McCarthy who thought they were booing. My wife thought they were booing as well.
Is that right?
And every time I got the ball, she would put her head down a little bit lower, and a little bit lower, until Sarah Tauscher, actually Mark Tauscher's wife, she nudged her and said, "This is awesome, isn't it?" And she goes, "No, it's not." She goes, "What are you talking about? They're saying Kuhn, not boo." And that's how my wife found out about it, and I think McCarthy found out about it similarly.
Fantastic. We've been hearing the Kuhn chants ever since, right? Let's hear it one more time. Yeah, you
so
love that.
Easy, but so good.
Oh, you love that, don't you? You love that. It's probably your ringtone, too. Well, the prodigal son finally returns.
We're going to do this
here,
tonight?
Huh?
You missed me for the last 8 years.
Well, I want to get to that, General.
Do we have any pranks set up for tonight? Remember Jared Bush with the trombone? That was an epic time.
That was. I was actually.
Are there any surprises, Ricardo, that I need to know about?
They haven't told me about it. If that's
we don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
He finally saunters in at 6 o'clock. We've been here since like 11 o'clock setting up.
It was 5:45.
This was the first time ever in this venue, and we're going to kind of keep ironing out the kinks, seeing how things work. So be patient with us. He just kind of saunters in whenever he wants to. But the prodigal son finally returns after 9 years, John. What took you so dang long to come back to the show? Is it because of that guy? Because we can make arrangements to get rid of him.
They can pay me to leave, John.
Well, shortly after that, 2015 was my last year in Green Bay.
Yep.
So that I really only had one other opportunity to make my way back. And then a couple kids later and a couple dogs, you know how it is. Family life gets busy, so it's hard to figure this out. But I'm glad to be back, and it's a very special place. It's a special place for me because you mentioned what I do now. A big part of that is media, and this is how I started to cut my teeth in the industry. So I'm very thankful for you guys for giving me that opportunity.
There's no rules with this media show, John. You
I
can do
know,
whatever the heck you want, right?
I know.
So are you telling me all it would take was a dog sitter for you to get back on here on a regular basis? Is that all
probably.
it takes?
Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's arrange that, right?
Okay.
So there must be some dog sitters out there that can help us out. But it is your duty as our former co-host, again, 2013, 2014 seasons. You are contractually obligated to visit us at least once a year.
Okay. Now there's a lot of pressure. We'll talk to Mike Cruz about this after the show.
Mike
See how
deals
he
with all
feels.
that stuff. Mike's like, oh, we want to talk about that. So, well, what's your message to Ricardo? It's Bears Week, right? You love Bears Week. You're a former Green Bay Packer.
He gave me his message. He just tried tackling me. By the way, this dad bod withstood John Kuhn.
Oh, please. Your dad bod withstood John Kuhn. Okay, that's what you're telling everybody.
My message for Ricardo would be, do you finally have hope? It's a question. Do you finally have hope? How excited? Do you feel like you guys have a chance this Sunday? For the first time in 30 years, do you feel like you finally have a shot?
When your team is 3-14, there's no other option but to have hope there, John. So I'm only looking up, and that's how I'm approaching it.
You'll be looking up all season long, too. Those Bears are going to be last place. We'll talk about we'll make our Packers predictions right at the end of the show. We'll have our Packers-Bears bet. We'll get your take, too, on who you think is going to win that big matchup. You'll be down there, right, for Packers Radio Network. So, let's talk about that. Let's catch everybody up. you've got a bunch of things going on. I said, Mr. Media, tell everybody about your 9 to noon show. That's on, where can folks find that? You're with Brian Butch, I think, former Badger, Appleton's favorite son.
We just switched up the lineup. I did it with Brian Butch from Appleton for about 3 years.
Okay.
We just moved the lineups around a little bit on the station. 97.3 the game's what it originates out of, but it's on WNFL in Green Bay and a lot of other sister stations around the state. We're pretty much statewide, believe it or not.
Nice.
Right here, it's like that one little spot in the T-Mobile map that has a blank kind of spot where you can't get your cell service. We're at that one spot, but we're working on that currently to try and get a big signal down here in Appleton for all of our big Packers and Brewers and Bucks fans that are down here. But we're pretty much statewide. I do it now. A little goofy guy named Armin Sarian, and then Bill Schmid, an ex-football player from Carroll College who's a career lifer in sports broadcasting. So it's a fun time, it's a good time, and it's a fun way to spend my weekdays as I prepare for the games to try and hone in on my craft and get reps and really study what's not just going on with our teams, but what's going on with everything in the NFL.
You do a nice job with it, by the way.
Thank you.
Very good, and congratulations on that. Yeah. Then you've got your Packers broadcasting duties, right? We just saw John and Kevin Harlan doing all the preseason games on TV. Did a great job there. You're on the sideline for the Packers radio network, so I guess that's been a nice transition as well. You've done a really good job in that duty.
That's been the funnest part of this, Brett, is being able to go to the practices, talk with the players, talk with the coaches, watch them during the games, get to call the games with a couple of legends in Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarron, and then obviously the preseason with Kevin Harlan. I mean, my job couldn't be much easier working with those three guys throughout the course of a season, and they just kind of teach me every trick of the trade. And if you follow their guidance, you can increase and get better very fast. So that's what I've been trying to do. But in the meantime, having a heck of a lot of fun following these football teams.
Absolutely, it is fun. And then last but not least, your involvement with ETS Performance, right? Engelbert Training Systems. I got it right here. You own facilities now here in Appleton and up in Howard, right outside of Green Bay. So I know maybe, Rosie, you can put up some photos of John with the ETS facility here in Appleton. We'll get those onto the monitor. There you go. The talk, you got Appleton North football team here and kind of catering to those young athletes, right, to specialize maybe in a specific sport, or I guess talk about your involvement with that and what it's all about.
Well, this started while I was finishing up my playing time. I started working out down in New Orleans when I finished with the Saints, and I did a specific type of workout that I learned after college, a way to train that's better for your body in recovery senses. And as I was doing these workouts, I noticed there was another guy in the weight room doing the same type of workouts as me, which was quite unusual because I started with a different company on the East Coast, and I found it eerily similar that he was basically doing the exact same stuff I was. Now, I must say, he was a fullback, just like I was, and for us to be doing the exact same workouts meant one thing, that he had the same tutelage that I had, and I had to ask, well, how did you meet Steve Saunders, which was my trainer, who kind of created his side of this training performance? And he said, I didn't. I met this guy named Ryan Engelbert in Minnesota when I played for the Vikings, and he started going down that road. And as we quizzed each other, I was fascinated that two different personal trainers pretty much created identical programs for athletes to train. And through some more talking, he said he was opening a gym because he was currently at the end of his career as well, and he was opening one in Western Michigan, and that I should talk to Ryan because Ryan is a Door County boy. In fact, went to high school, set all kinds of records playing football for Southern Door County, and I should talk with him because he'd be really interested to try and get a couple of these places in Northeast Wisconsin. And at the time, I will say this, at the time, the one thing I really did notice was living here full time, the lack of availability for specified training for athletes. So when I had to do my workouts, I had to go into Green Bay. I had to convince the trainers to allow me to do a workout a little different than what the Packers wanted you to do, and they, through my tenure, would allow me to do that. So I was fascinated by that, so I would do it there. But now to have not only one in Green Bay, but here in Appleton, athletes can train literally like some of the pros train, And when people hear that, they think, oh, I don't want my 13-year-old putting 400 pounds on the bar. That's not what it's about. Every workout's specified exactly for the athlete, individualized for the athlete, because as we know, no two athletes are the same. In fact, no two football players are the same. And that's the basis around everything. And we love it, and we've seen great improvements with our athletes, especially our Bayport athletes up in Green Bay, and we hope to tap into some of those great athletes here in the Appleton area as well, as we just opened up in March.
Absolutely, yeah. So definitely check. How can folks check it out? Just
you can check it out online, ets.com.
Yeah.
That's number one, or just make your way down there. We're right off of Wisconsin Avenue, right down the road here, probably about 2.5 miles.
Yeah, Perkins Street, I believe is where it is. So yeah, definitely check it out. John Kuhn doing good stuff. Hey, one more question before I kick it over to, I think, Ricardo, who's going to have an audience question. He's going to go get the audience questioner. But what do you miss most about the playing in the NFL? What do you miss most about is it the games? Is it the camaraderie? Is it the pranks? As you look back on your career, especially this time of year.
It's the people. It really is the people you create. And as I look at the Appleton North football players out here today, it's about your teammates and the time that you spend with them, the hard work that you put in that nobody really wants to do while you're doing it. You get a great appreciation for when you finish doing it and when you win football games, which I saw Appleton North is 3-0, big win over Fond du Lac, I believe.
Yeah.
So when you put in, when you put all the work in, and I know a little bit about Wisconsin high school, you get the 5 padded practices before the month of August, and then you get into August, and then you start rolling, and football season here starts earlier than ever, and you're starting football games in second week of August. And those dividends start paying off. All that work that you put in throughout the summer, those extra padded practices, and then your training camp in August, when it pays off in a big way, and it's about the team, it's about the players. That's what I miss the most, Brett. The family vibe, the camaraderie, and the feels that you get with your coaches and teammates.
You look like you could still play, John. Could you give the Packers a series? Could you do it? Could you get out there and give them a few snaps?
I always joked about that with guys that I saw retired when I was still playing, and when they said no, I didn't believe them. But I mean it now. It's a no.
It's
no.
over.
It's done.
You don't want any more hitting.
Done.
So, hey, how about John Kuhn so far tonight, everybody? I'm going to kick it over to Ricardo, who has our audience question. Now, Ricardo, who do you have here? You got some guy wearing a big Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, this is Wayne Sargent, and man, check out that. That is pretty cool.
Look at that thing.
That's a great.
You got to do some neck exercises to get prepared to wear that thing, huh?
yeah. His question for John. Go ahead, Wayne.
So, John, what is your most memorable experience, not just on the field, but in the locker room?
I would say the locker room after the NFC Championship game in Chicago is the most memorable experience, because that was about the time when we proved that we were as good as we wanted to be. We knew we had one more game left, but that was a celebration I won't forget. A lot of tears, a lot of hugs, and then Charles Woodson comes in and reminds us there's still one more game left. And when you accomplish something that you felt like you were good enough to do for some period of time. If you were, a lot of that core team was still there in 2007. We lost in the NFC Championship game. And then we got a new quarterback in 2008 that we all believed a lot in. 2009, we felt like we were the hottest team at the end of the season. And in 2010, had so many bumps. You get to a point after a few years where you start to wonder, will it ever be us? Can it ever be us? And then to answer that question to ourselves and be in that locker room and realize that together, that was probably my most memorable experience.
Fantastic. Great
Wayne.
answer,
Thank
great
you.
question. We appreciate it, Wayne. Good to see you. And time to take a timeout. John, I'm still doing the stat pack. Remember the stat
Yes.
pack? Yeah, stat pack. Well, as we all know, the Packers open their 2023 slate on Sunday against their longtime division rival, the Bears. Now check this out. Did you know, John, head coach Matt LaFleur has guided Green Bay to an 18-6 record against the NFC North, giving him the best winning percentage in the NFC North, or even preceding the NFC Central, right? In division history. How about LaFleur doing some good work? Yeah. That's according to Elias, and it's a minimum of 10 games, but LaFleur's .750 winning percentage within the division is better than guys like Jim Caldwell, Mike McCarthy, Bud Grant, and even Mike Ditka. Matt LaFleur is
Not the
better than
coach.
Mike Ditka.
That hurts. That hurts.
It does hurt, doesn't it? Another instance in which the Packers are better than the Bears. Good sign, Mean Gene, right, for Sunday's big matchup. I don't know what it is if it isn't. In fact, Green Bay 8-0 against the Bears under Matt LaFleur. Ricardo, we're still doing trivia. We're doing trivia.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we are doing trivia, but we also have the rules. So if you want to participate, please listen up. First off, we will ask the question. If you think you know the answer, you got to raise your hand, right, Brett? Don't shout it out. And if you're correct, you win what?
Well, we have something different this year. We have Timber Rattlers bobbleheads. We're going to give away a Jackson Churio bobblehead.
Oh,
one
there
of
you go.
the top prospect in the Brewers system. And then how about a Freddie Peralta bobblehead as well for the other trivia questions. So I'm asking first, right? If you
go
win,
ahead.
though, Ricardo, you cannot ask again, right? All right. So, John, I'm going to ask a question. You're going to determine who is going to get called on here.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. John Kuhn's first career NFL touchdown came on a pass play. Am I correct about that? Not a run. It was a pass play. It happened during the 2008 season against what NFC team? Hint, Mike Holmgren was the opposing coach. Who do you got? Who do you got, General? This guy right here? Seahawks, yeah, come on up. Give him the Jackson Churio bobblehead, General. Seattle Seahawks. It was a Week 6 matchup at Lambeau Field, and John, you were credited with a 1-yard touchdown reception on a pass from a young Aaron Rodgers, huh?
This was what year?
08, Week 6, your first career NFL. A little bit later that season, you had your first rushing touchdown. That's according to Pro Football Reference. Yes, I looked that up.
Okay. It's funny. I didn't know that.
He's not sure. Your first career rushing touchdown came later that season in a loss to New Orleans, a 1-yard run, but you beat Seattle that day, 27-17. The General helping take down the Seahawks and Mike Holmgren, right, back in 08.
I think we need to stat check the stats.
What's that?
I think we need to stat check the stats.
You go to Pro Football Reference. I went on game by game that season to check. That's
Really?
how much I was deep into your stats,
Because
John.
I feel like I had 3 touchdowns that season, but I had 2 against the St. Louis Rams. And I felt like that was pretty early on. Ricardo, you want to stat check that?
Look at
I will look it up right now, John.
John
Okay.
Kuhn's stats. I guarantee you, because I double-checked and triple-checked. All right? I'm not going to take this from the General anymore, all right? All right, let's do a little bit more with John Kuhn, the All-Pro, Pro Bowl fullback. Let's talk, John, a little bit about the 2023 Green Bay Packers. Rosie, if you're ready, it's time to unveil tonight's Clubhouse Live GIF of the night. Let's see it if you got it ready. There. Oh, bear down, right? Oh, the Bears are going down. Oh. That's what Ricardo means by bear down. Another agonizing performance by the Chicago Bears. He can't even take it. John?
What's up?
Is this a rebuild, or a retool, a reload, a revamp? What is it? It's a re-what? Because everybody's talking about this was a rebuild for the Green Bay Packers. I'm not buying it. Are you?
I call it a re-team.
Okay.
Just a re-team. Are they rebuilt? Oh, they're massively rebuilt. Are they retooled? Well, they're bigger and faster. What were your other words that you used?
I had rebuild, reload, reset, retool,
Reload.
refresh.
They loaded up with some weapons on the outside now. Refresh. Oh, did training camp feel different this year?
Yeah.
I would say it's refreshed. I'd say it's all of those things. I'd say it's a re-team. And, man, when you look at this draft class and even some of the undrafted free agents, you got about 13 to 15 guys right now that are going to play a massive role in this football team. That's a different look. That's a different team. And there's a lot of reasons to be excited about it.
It seems like, though, rebuild is a nasty word, right? In sports, oh, boy, they're blowing it all up. They're going to go 3-14.
And the difference is, normally in a rebuild, you get rid of all your pieces to gain assets. They didn't get rid of David Bakhtiari. Jair Alexander's still here. Kenny Clark is still here. Elton Jenkins is still here. Aaron Jones took less money to stay here. That's not what a rebuild is.
Right.
A rebuild, you clean house, you trade away all your pieces for all the assets you can get, and it takes time to build, structurally for a long period of time. Packers are young. They're the youngest team in the National Football League this year, but they still have some veterans at some very key spots. I don't think there's any reason why we should look at this team and not expect them to compete week one, day one, all the way through this season.
Yeah, that's what you like to hear, right, everybody? Keep the train rolling. Well, we got to start at quarterback, right? That's some big news at quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Out goes Aaron Rodgers. He's now with the New York Jets. In comes the youngster Jordan Love after 3 years of grooming behind the legend, the future Hall of Famer. Can't say goodbye to Aaron Rodgers without saluting him, thanking him for an incredible run, right? I think that deserves an applause.
Yeah, it's fitting.
Tremendous. He even was on our show 3.5 times. Did you know that? 3.5 times.
Well, how'd the halftime work?
Once with Crabtree.
Okay.
Once with you.
Yeah.
Alan Lazard got him on during our virtual season.
Oh, so that's the half.
And then when Tom Crabtree was back on another virtual show, he actually texted Tom during the show.
Oh, okay. So the
So that
text
counts
is
as
the
a half.
Okay, gotcha.
So there you go, 3.5 times. But Jordan
Well,
Love.
do you think he was watching?
Oh, I'm sure he was
that
watching.
night?
Absolutely. Are
Wow.
you kidding me? You kidding me?
I bet the
He watched
viewership
every
was
week.
huge that night.
He's watching right now over there
Aaron,
in New
text
York,
me.
New Jersey.
Let me know.
You've seen Jordan Love. You kind of studied him with a fine-tooth comb, right? What has he done in OTAs, mini camp, training camp, preseason to lead you to believe that this is the guy that's going to win some football games for this team and keep them in playoff contention?
Number one, he's said everything the right way. It's always been about the team. It's always been about a process. It's never a lot of me. It's a lot of we. I think his approach and his mindset is that what you want of a leader, is exactly what you want of your quarterback. So I think, number one, you always have to start with the mental side of the game before you can master the physical side, because the physical side takes much longer. And if you're there mentally and emotionally, I think you have a better chance to progress physically as time goes on. And he has shown that progression. And what I like about it is every time you take a benchmark throughout his career, 2020, he didn't get any snaps in the preseason because there wasn't a preseason. 2021, he got some limited snaps because he got a shoulder injury in the preseason. 2022, he got better, and we saw what he did last year against Philadelphia in about 11 or 13 regular season snaps against the Eagles. And he's progressed every single time, including this offseason. OTAs weren't easy. OTAs weren't perfectly clean. But by the time you got to mid-camp, you started seeing development, you started seeing a change in his demeanor, and you started seeing a confidence on the entire offense. And it's that progression and continued progression that I think people can have a lot of optimism with him being the starting quarterback this year, because week one, there's going to be some struggles. Yeah, absolutely. But is he going to look better in week one than what he looked week one of the preseason? Yeah, that's probably true too. And you get your biggest gains from your first game to your second game, from your first quarter, meaning the first 4 games, to your next 4 games. And we should expect to see a real good starting quarterback for this Green Bay Packers team at some point in time this season. A lot of people are going to get really excited about the play of Jordan Love and understand this guy's his first year starting, and the sky's the limit with him, because we can all see him progressing.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good, isn't he? So far, so good. We'll see. Once the game plans are put into place, right, and there's specific
quarterbacks,
scheming.
there's a reason it's the highest paid position. It's the hardest position in professional sports to play. You have to know your job and everybody else's job. And they have gotten some really good looks in the training camp practices. You don't get as many good looks in the preseason games, but when you have those training camp practices, you're seeing ones against ones unanimously all the way across the board, and you're seeing their stuff that they're not afraid to throw at you in practice versus what they'll throw in you in the games. I watched those practices, not very dissimilar from the preseason games, so that too gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, good stuff with the joint practices as well, so it's going to be fun. Now, you were there for the transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. You were there.
Oh, yeah.
That was
contentious.
That was a circus.
Not easy.
Now you're seeing it transition from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan. A lot of similarities. Both guys Aaron and Jordan sat 3 years. Mm-hmm. Are there any similarities, though, from a handing of the baton and Aaron taking over? Packers knew what they had in him, thinking, okay, I think this guy's going to be pretty good. You kind of sense that Green Bay's like, I think we know what we got in this guy. I think this guy's, like you said, I think he can develop into be a pretty darn good quarterback. Are you seeing some similarities in that sense?
Well, I would say the biggest difference I've seen, and I can say something nice about Aaron with it only meaning something nice about him. I truly believe that he wants to see the best for Jordan Love. He wants Jordan Love to have success. And I believe this because of the dialogue that he's had with Jordan, not only the years that he's played with them, but then even now that he's gone, I know that he texts Jordan and he wishes Jordan the best. And that goes a long way. I know that he also helped tutor Jordan Love while he was here, gave his all to not just be the starting quarterback, but to also let Jordan know what he thought he needed to work on to improve himself. So I would say the handing of the baton is a little bit different in that approach. The old mindset of the NFL was you don't let a player come in and take any snaps, because if you left the huddle and somebody else came in, you might not get the opportunity to get back in there. That was something that was instilled in all of us for the longest time. So for Aaron to take a new age approach, a confident approach in himself, and an understanding for the way he had a transition, and to see it somewhat differently, I commend him a lot for that. And then are things different with this? I can't help but say the first time there was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of emotions with fans. There was a lot of emotions within the building. And this time around, it's like we're weathered. We've been here, we've done that, we've seen a transition before. We understand there's patience involved, and we understand there's optimism involved, and we might understand just a little bit more of the business side of things as it pertains to football and how it relates to players in their twilight years. And man, when I tell you Packer fans up there in Green Bay are excited about a Jordan Love-led football team, I mean it. It's really exciting to see, and Lambeau for these preseason games were exceptional.
They were exciting games.
They really were.
Usually it's boring, but it was a buzz. There was an energy.
They really were.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely looking forward to that. And we'll see. Maybe Green Bay has stumbled upon the formula that you just draft a guy and let him sit for 3 years, and then...
Wouldn't that be something if it worked again, right? If it just worked again.
Could it really be that easy?
I think a lot of people thought the first time was just, ooh, they got a needle in a haystack at the 25th pick or whatever Aaron Rodgers was when he got selected. They just got lucky because everybody fell there. It didn't have anything to do with sitting for 3 years, learning behind a Hall of Fame. It didn't have anything to do with that. They just got lucky. And the chances they're going to get lucky is very, very thin. Well, we'll see. I can't help but think Jordan Love is going to be good. I can't help but think this process is going to work, because you never see it in the NFL anymore. The closest thing we got was Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. He sat 15 games.
Yeah, right.
Worked out pretty well for Kansas City.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good, right? And so are the Chiefs. But, you know, maybe it's a formula the Bears could use, but the problem is the Bears never have a quarterback that can groom the next quarterback. They just never have a quarterback.
That's also the trick. I mean, you said it right there. A lot of teams, when they draft quarterbacks in the first round, they have to play them. Coaches' jobs are on the line. General managers' jobs are on the line. Heck, some owners are looking to fire everybody and start fresh if this new quarter. So they have to play the guy. Packers have not been in that position, and they've been able to train for 3 years' time with these last two quarterbacks. Wouldn't that be great if it just worked again?
Maybe that's the formula, right? Mm-hmm. Just keep getting Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And, hey, Ricardo's flagging me down. Looks like you have an online question.
Well, because John wanted to know
yeah,
about his first touchdown. Now, you are correct. You did score against New Orleans, you said? Was that the team?
New Orleans I did score against, but
yes.
What about the Rams?
However, that was week 12, and it pains me to say this.
Yes.
But Brett was actually correct.
Yes.
Your first touchdown did come against Seattle.
Yes.
Yes.
John?
What week was Seattle?
According to this, week 6.
Did we play St. Louis that season?
Oh, St. Louis. I don't see the Rams in here.
Okay, I'm wrong.
John? Not only do I have physical dominance over you
right
now, but I have mental dominance over you. I dominate John Kuhn right now.
She knew this one. She caught this one.
She knew it too, Crazy
she said
Ashley.
It was 2009, yeah.
Absolutely. So,
hey, John, by the way, that's the following year. I'm just bringing up the box score.
No, we got it.
That's the following year, and you did.
You're close.
Sometimes it gets a little screwy
He
up there.
did score.
Games blend together,
Brett,
right?
he did score twice.
Okay.
He is correct, yes.
But he didn't do it in 08.
No, not
That's
in
what I said. Okay?
No.
Give me credit once and for all. So let's do it. A couple more things, and it's our social media question of the night. But, John, you kind of said to it, you expect this team to contend, all right?
Yes.
Or certainly be in the playoff conversation. That's kind of what Brian Gutekunst said, too, though, right? Because somebody said, well, boy, you have the youngest roster in the league. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, what do you expect? And the expectation is to win every week. It's not just to kind of let's see how we develop and grow. there's going to be some hiccups, but that's the bottom line, isn't it? It doesn't matter who you're feeling and what roster you have. You got to win some football games.
I can remember in 2007, we also had the youngest roster in the league, and we had the youngest roster in the league with Rob Davis, who I believe was 36 at the time, and Brett Favre, who was 38, 39. And when we started winning at the beginning of the season, it just got contagious. And young guys, they don't know what to be afraid of. They don't know what they don't know. That's the catchphrase in the locker room. And there are hurdles along the way that veterans will always recognize as the hurdles that you experience throughout a season. When you're a young guy, you don't. You just start winning and you start believing in yourself. And for as crazy as this sounds, real confidence goes a long way. Yep. If they can stack some wins up early in the season, have some success early in the season, they can get contagious. And this team is very talented. And I expect the lack of experience to work not just against the Packers at times, but also for the Packers, because they'll be hungry, they'll be excited, and they won't have any reason to fear anything because there's nothing they've experienced to make them fear anything.
That's good. That's a good point. Sometimes youth is just like is a strength, versus a guy that's been in the league 10 years and you're starting to think a little bit too much.
You get players out there that are confident because they've just been good their whole life, and now they're young and
they don't know any better.
A lot of veteran players will look at that kid and say he's a cocky kid over there playing cornerback, talking smack during practices. But when he goes out there and he performs, he feels like he is that great player. And once you do that a few times, it really starts going places for you in your psyche and how you can develop. And then you add in some tutelage from some really good coaches, and you only get better and better. So I'm excited about this team. You talk about speed, you talk about size. Right. This team is as big and as fast as we've seen it here in Green Bay, and it's how Matt LaFleur uses that on offense to be how explosive they're going to be.
Got to have speed in the NFL today, don't you? A couple more things, and as I said, it's our social media question of the night. Let's do a real quick, brief defense, right? Defense got to take a step up. I mean, they finished strong last year, but they got to start faster, right? So what's your impressions on the defense? A lot of, not so much youth on that side, a lot more experience, a lot of first-round talent. It's going to be kind of up to them to sort of maybe carry or shoulder the load a little bit until Jordan and those guys can get things going.
Well, it all starts with the health of Rashawn Gary, and for all intents and purposes, he's back and better than ever. Watching him at practice, he's incredibly explosive. It's amazing that a man can tear an ACL and look better when he comes back than when he left the football field, but that's exactly what he's done. That's a credit to his work ethic. That's a credit to the training and the physical therapy that he did, and he is all the way back. He'll likely be on some sort of a pitch count in game one, but we have got other talented players on the outside along with him, first rounder Lucas Van Ness. And then you start talking about some young guys that you're looking to see a big jump out of this year. You know Jair Alexander and what he can do. You know Rasul Douglas and what he can do. You know inside with Kenny Clark and what he can do, and Preston Smith, Devondre Campbell. And now you have guys like Quay Walker going into his second year. You make your biggest jumps. I said from your first game to your second game, your first quarter, second quarter, also from your first year to your second year. Quay Walker's looking to make big improvements this year, along with Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton. Right. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that were drafted very highly and have gotten experience, and now you're expecting that big leap. This defense has 8 first-round draft picks. Yeah. That's a lot of draft capital to invest into one side of the football. If they all make incremental jumps, the jump as a defense as a whole will be exponential.
Yeah, that front could be pretty imposing, especially when you're hearing about Wyatt and Slayton coming in with Kenny Clark. So, and then Devondre Quay outside, and it could be pretty exciting to see that defense maybe take a big step, maybe be a top 10, top 5 defense. We'll kind of see how it goes. Special teams, right?
We-fence. They call it
the
we-fence.
Right? With Rich, you would have loved playing for Rich Bisaccia on special teams.
He's
wouldn't
amazing.
You? He is pretty good, isn't he?
He's amazing. He's a character, and he's a second head coach. He really is. He doesn't just coach special teams practices. He coaches throughout the entire practice. And I asked him about that in one of our availabilities, and he told me that he teaches the simple stuff. Mm-hmm. He teaches effort. He teaches energy. He teaches finish. And those really are some of the key factors in winning a football play. You don't have to be perfect X's and O's if you're giving it your all. And he coaches that to every single player on every single play of every single practice and game, whether it's special teams or not. Rich Bisaccia is he's an extra head coach. There's a reason why they changed his title this year to assistant head coach.
Right. So let's play out this scenario. It's 23-21 Bears, 5 seconds to go. Packers are lining up for a 47-yard field goal. How you feeling about Anders Carlson out
Probably
there?
feel the way the rest of
You a
you
little
guys
nervous
are.
about that one, huh?
I tell you what, I will feel equally nervous as I am excited for a young man to put all the criticism to bed and boom a 47-yarder, because you saw a 57-yarder
nailed it.
at Lambeau Field.
Yep.
And everybody, hey, preseason's preseason, I get it, but there are plenty of nerves for rookies in preseason games. So he got a big monkey off his back with that one. Proud to see that out of the kid. And if Rich Bisaccia is telling us to be patient with him, then I sure will be patient. Another thing Rich Bisaccia said about the kicker position is there's only 3 positions in football that are lonely, where you're by yourself.
Right.
You got the quarterback, you got the punt returner, and then you got the kicker. 3 positions where you are by yourself every single play. That's an immense amount of pressure to begin with. So what these, especially young guys, when they come in, what they're dealing with early on to be able to conquer that, it takes a little bit. So I'm excited for him, though, because you see the leg strength, and you see how hard he works. And now that there's not a competition at punter/holder, and there's not a competition at long snapper, they will get a lot more reps with the same 2 guys versus mixing it up, this snapper with this holder with this snapper, and they'll get a lot more consistency out of that.
Yeah, loving the general tonight. What do you guys think, right? Great stuff here at the Fox Club, Neuroscience Group Field. Home of the Timber Rattlers. We're in Grand Chute, Wisconsin. Ricardo, you got a social media question of the night for the general, don't you?
This is Brad Scott on Facebook. He wants to know from the general, is there a player this upcoming season that not many are talking about right now, but will be by the end of the season?
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but think it has to be Carrington Valentine.
Yeah.
This guy came in 7th round draft pick, and if we didn't already have 2 lockdown corners and a nickel and Keyshawn Nixon, he would be in the starting lineup. They're going to have to find ways to get him on the football field, because with a guy who's as gifted as he is, you don't want to just waste him to mental reps. You have to get him some packages, at least 12 to 24 plays a game. And I believe with those opportunities, he will buy himself more opportunities, so that by the end of the season, we'll be talking a lot about Carrington Valentine and what he's going to be long-term on the outside for the Green Bay Packers.
Good stuff, good answer. And for having his question selected, Brad wins a signed photo of the general. Each week, we'll ask you to submit a question for our co-host or guest that we'll ask live during Monday's show. Look for it on Facebook.com/Clubhouse Live. John, I'm going to take another time out. Bobbles galore. Hey, stick around, folks. After the show, we're going to give away this great Christian Yelich Milwaukee Brewers bobblehead, courtesy of Bobbles Galore. The Brewers are in first place, right? Looking pretty good. Bobbles Galore is your source for the largest selection of bobbleheads you will find anywhere. That includes a great selection of Packers, Brewers, and Bucks bobbleheads. Shop bobblesgalore.com today. Trivia question number 2, Ricardo. Am I asking it this time? You're asking it, yeah.
I need both you and John to look at the crowd, make sure to see who raises that hand first. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's about John.
Oh.
John Kuhn.
Do you think I know this one?
Yes.
Maybe not after the last one.
He actually owns 2 Super Bowl rings. One as a member of the 2010 Green Bay Packers, and the other as a member of what team?
Right there on my right, your left, out of the 2 hands.
Yep, come on up. Get your bobblehead.
I knew that one.
You knew that one. You remember that
I knew
one,
that
right?
one.
Yeah. You better remember that one. He's going to win a Freddie Peralta Timber Rattlers bobblehead. I'll let you give that to him. Yep. Pittsburgh Steelers. You played on the 06 Steelers team that went on to win Super Bowl 40. Opened that season on the Steelers practice squad. Eventually signed to their active roster. All right, John.
Real quick.
Yeah.
What year was that? No, I got it. No, I have to do. I wasn't going to do it, but I have to do it now. What season was that?
06. 06 Steelers. Yep. The 06 Steelers beat the Super Bowl 40. Beat the Seahawks, right?
But what year was that?
Oh, jeez. I don't know what year. 07.
No.
What?
No.
What are you talking about? Huh? Oh, that's right. Listen, John, I'm dealing with an excruciating back pain right now. It's just, I'm gaming. I'm a gamer right now. I'm battling through this right now. I'm barely keeping to the script.
All right, now, that was my first year, 05. What was my last year?
Your last year for the Super Bowl?
No, in football.
Oh, wait, hold it. No, 17.
17.
New Orleans Saints. You spent 2 years in New Orleans. Thank you very much.
Now, how many years is that total?
Oh.
1, 9, 10, 12. One with the Steelers, or do you get credited with two with the Steelers?
5 and
9, and 2 was 11, and 1 I thought with the Steelers.
5 and where did I go? Did I just disappear in 2006?
Okay, listen, move on. You get a penalty flag for this. Don't confuse the co-host, for crying out loud.
Listen, Brett wants you to know that he thinks that he was told there'd be no math.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Don't deviate from the script.
I didn't know my first touchdown. Don't feel bad, okay? I didn't know what that was.
Stick with the script, and the script said it is time to play tonight's Clubhouse Live Challenge. Rosie, we need some music. Sponsored by Munoz Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, your center for dental excellence, voted Reader's Choice Best Dentist, Best of the Bay, in back-to-back years now. Let Dr. Sebastian and his team of professionals help you achieve your dream smile. John, we are going to play a game we call Six Pack.
Great.
Okay?
Great.
Right behind you, well, I guess he can come on up. That's okay. Sure. That's your playing partner tonight.
Fantastic.
That is Bill Calloway.
I'm excited. I met Bill before.
You might have met Bill before.
Yeah.
And you're going to try to win some prizes for Bill. Now, this is what we do. John, this is a rapid-fire game in which you have 60 seconds to correctly answer 6 questions.
Okay.
If you do so,
please hope not.
you win the game and prizes for tonight's contestant, which is courtesy of Shields, this Packers Slim Can Koozie. This will be good for Sunday's game, right?
Is it only 6 questions?
6 questions, 60 seconds.
Okay, so I got to get all 6 right,
All
though.
6 within 60 seconds.
Okay.
Bill could also win a signed photo of the General right here. And this Miller Lite Can Koozie, again, you can use for Sunday's game. John, if you do not win the game, Bill, our contestant, will have to give Ricardo a pedicure.
Oh, I love. Now I might want to throw this thing.
That's some pressure. If at any point you're stuck on a question, John, you can pass. We'll come back to it. Now, Ricardo will keep track of the time. Ricardo, you do not start the clock until I have asked the first question in its entirety. Then you start the clock. Okay? Now, who feels like the General is going to get through this? Right? He's the General.
Not feeling great about this, I'm not going to lie.
Anybody thinking he's not going to get through this? She's raising her. No, she's like, no, I didn't mean that. I think everybody's feeling confident.
Good.
Are you ready? 6.
No.
Now, you need the category. Tonight's category is how well a 6-pack of questions about Clubhouse Live.
Oh, gosh.
John was our co-host for 2 seasons, one of the few that has done it for 2 seasons.
All right.
So here we go. Ricardo, are you ready? Question number 1. Who preceded you as our Clubhouse
Tom
Live?
Crabtree.
Yes. Number 2. True or false, you once dressed as Mean Gene as part of our Halloween show?
False.
True. Number 3. Who was your first Clubhouse Live guest? Hint, he was a master beatboxer.
Pass.
He wore number 27.
Eddie Lacy.
Yes, number 4. This former cornerback, who was a guest of yours in each of your 2 seasons as host, claimed he could play the tuba.
Jared Bush.
Yes, number 5. Speaking of musical instruments, what did we have Aaron Rodgers reluctantly play during his guest appearance with
Guitar?
you? Yes, number 6. Our unofficial mascot, Mean Gene, wears a cheese head with a sticker that reads, "The Bears still what?"
Suck.
Yes, Ricardo. He got it.
20
He
seconds
got
left.
it. Let's hear some Kuhn chants for that performance, because Bill, you're going home with the Slim Koozie, the Can Koozie, and the signed photo of the General. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? You know Clubhouse Live. I know you meant to say true about.
I dressed up like Mean Gene. Man, I was a character
You
back
were
then.
back then. You did, and your second year you dressed up as the General.
Oh, yeah.
You dressed up as a
Didn't
General.
remember that one either. You could have asked me either one.
So there you go. Well done. He knows Clubhouse Live. Ricardo, we're going to kind of keep this moving because we do have a special presentation with Mean Gene that
Yes.
I want John to be part of as well. But we are doing something new this season, our high school team of the week, right? And we have some members that
Yes.
maybe you want to introduce?
Yes, could I have the Appleton North? All you folks, please take a stand. Go ahead, stand up. Hey, listen. These guys. Yeah.
3-0.
This is perennially one of the best football teams in our area in Division I. I think 2 years ago they were in the state semis. I believe last year in the state quarters. They're 3-0 this season, as John mentioned, coming off a real impressive win over Fond du Lac.
We streamed it.
We did live stream
we were
that.
down there.
This program with Coach Rob Salm at the helm, fantastic. One of our platinum programs in the area. So glad they could come down. We really appreciate the hard work they do on the field. A lot of success.
There you go. So we're going to keep doing this every week. I think
every week
kind
we're
of fun
going to try to
showcase
honor a high
some
school
of our
team.
great young athletes. Is Coach Salm here tonight, by the way? I wanted to see the visor.
Well, he's busy coaching. He's helping out. They had a JV game today.
He's probably getting game plan ready.
He's getting the game plan ready for.
Does Appleton play every Thursday? Is it going to be every Thursday? No, just the first 3 Thursdays.
Back to Friday
a
now.
repping shortage.
I know.
And pre-Labor Day stuff too. So back to Friday.
Shout out to the refs that are pulling double duties.
Yeah,
give shout outs to the refs pulling double duties.
I think we've seen the same crew 3 straight games. It's been crazy. All right, General. We're going to kind of mix it up here. This is a very special night for our unofficial mascot, Mean Gene, our longtime and beloved Mean Gene, Eugene Greening. We announced earlier in the offseason, John, that we were able to get the go-ahead to produce a Mean Gene bobblehead, something we've been wanting to do for a very long time. Now, Mean Gene, come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Right here. Give John a little love, a little hug or something, right? Because we love hugging on Clubhouse Live. Can you get through? So unfortunately, folks, we don't have the actual bobblehead here tonight. I've been told they're in transit as we speak. We thought they were going to be here, but there's shipping delays.
You just say supply chain shortage, and everybody understands.
Supply chain shortage.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
the
ticket.
So we're hoping that we can actually unveil the actual bobblehead next week, and hopefully it's here. But we do have a picture of the actual bobblehead with the commemorative box. Rosie, can you put it on the screen? There it is. Look at that. Look at that. That's the Mean Gene bobblehead. Thanks to our friends at Bobbles Galore. Bobbles Galore produced it. We appreciate them. There's kind of the back of the box, the write-up again. Look at how lifelike it looked. Ricardo, all you got to do is just kind of hit his head, and it would be the bobblehead.
Yeah.
That's him right there. So that is the Mean Gene bobblehead, Clubhouse Live. Fantastic. And Mean Gene, just really brief. Now, we can't go through the whole spiel, but do you have a few words maybe to say just from the heart? Go ahead.
I got this all because it wrote down because I don't want to screw it up and make mistakes like John did. But this all happened for Gene because of Clubhouse Live staff, the love from all the Green Bay Packers hosts and all the fans that love my fun however we do it. My loving wife Dorothy for sharing me with all of this. Most importantly, we thank our Lord for blessing me with this fun. Go Pack, go.
There you go. Congratulations to Mean Gene. Go ahead, Mean Gene. So can't wait to actually get it here and give it to you in person, but Ricardo, that looks just like, that's a fantastic job by Bobbles Galore.
That is eerie how close that looks like.
What do you think about that, General? You know Mean Gene from all your years here.
That bobblehead is incredible.
It looks good.
Yes, the detail on that thing's phenomenal, and I'm going to have to find me a way to get one of those.
We'll get you one, right?
Fantastic.
We'll get you one.
Look forward to it.
Next time you visit us, John.
Okay.
All right. I got him in. I roped him in. So, hey, one more question before we do our up north. You're going into week 1, right?
Yep.
Let's say you're on the team as a veteran fullback, right?
Yep.
This young team, what are you saying to Jordan Love the night before the game? What are you saying to these young guys the night before? Are you saying anything, or are you just kind of saying?
I would honestly, I'd probably say to Jordan Love, you're here for a reason. You've done everything the right way. Believe in yourself, and everything will take care of itself. And you're not out there alone. It is one of those lonely positions, but you're not out there alone. You don't have to do it all yourself. Let us take you along the way, and you just lead us, big fella, and I believe in you. I mean, that's all I'd say.
That's all you got to say, right? Let him take care of the rest. How about a big round of applause for the General tonight, John Kuhn? Standing ovation here on our first night. Yes.
I'm blushing. Thank you. See what I told you about family? What I tell you about family in the locker room? Family at Clubhouse Live.
Oh yeah, there's a picture of you and in the Gary and wearing your Mean Gene Halloween costume right there. There
okay.
it is. You
kind
remember.
Kind of.
Hey, listen, standing ovation that you got to come back. The Clubhouse Live family showing you some fantastic love. So, all right, Ricardo, we're going to go up north. We got to predict Sunday's Packers-Bears. What is the Packers-Bears bet?
Let's do this. How about this? If the Packers win, I'll lead a "Go Pack Go" chant, which is disgusting to me, by the way.
Okay.
And if they lose, which they will, I'll let you do a little "Bear Down" Chicago Bears tune.
Ooh,
how's that?
Okay. Well, I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
I'm not too worried. You got something?
I think you throw some push-ups in this too.
Oh, I'll do more push-ups than Brett. No problem.
50 push-ups.
Oh, I don't know about 50. I
On
could
next
probably do
week's
25.
show. 50 push-ups on next. You don't sound too confident, Ricardo.
No, not 50. I could probably do 25 or 30.
The total score.
What was that?
The total score.
Yeah.
Whatever that adds up to be.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my prediction then. Now you're scaring me.
Ricardo?
Listen, my prediction was going to be what the scenario that you gave John. 23-21, and your rookie kicker misses the field goal.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
John Kuhn, this is something new since you ran last year. This is called the Victory Visor, and it goes on my head because I'm picking the Packers to win. A lot of wins in this Victory Visor. You know what I'm saying? 56-0. How do you like that? 56-0. That's what's going to happen. John likes it. The fans like it. You can book it. Packers are going 1-0. What do you think, Mean Gene? Yes. There's no rivalry. Listen, Packers won 8 straight in the series, 13 of the past 14, 25 of the past 29. There is no rivalry. It's one-sided, just like Sunday's game is going to be 56-0.
New era, baby. Love and Field is going to be back and forth, I'm telling you.
Hey, a few more things. Packers News app, right?
That's right, with exclusive commentary, insider analysis, and award-winning photos and videos from USA Today Network's Packers coverage team. Packers News app, your one-stop shop for complete coverage of your Green Bay Packers. Unlimited digital access to the Packers News app, and PackersNews.com can be yours, Brett, for as low as 99 cents for that first month. Please subscribe today. We need that money.
Absolutely. We no doubt about it. Again, special thank you to our sponsors and friends. First, our presenting sponsors, Cellcom and Packerland Home Improvement. We also want to thank our segment sponsors, Bobbles Galore and Munoz Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. And finally, thank you to our sporting sponsors and friends, Shields, Escort Limousine Service, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear, Mayfield Sports Marketing, our friend Mark Mayfield, right? Mike Thiel and Eric lives here, Miller Lite, the good folks there, and of course, the good folks with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Fox Club. How did they do tonight for the first show? Fantastic. Ricardo, I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be a great partnership. Can't wait for the season to keep going. Another programming note, Keyshawn Nixon, Josiah DeGore, our co-hosts, will be here next Monday night at 6:30 when we celebrate that Packers win. John, shut his mic off now, would you? General, you love that nickname. By the way, the General wearing a Timber Rattlers cap. Love it. That's a good look. I'm going to give you the final word. As we always do, you get the final word tonight. What do you got to say to these great fans here?
The Bears still suck.
For the General, for Ricardo, for the rest of the Clubhouse Live crew, I'm Brett Christopherson saying so long. Be back here next Monday night. Keyshawn Nixon, Josiah DeGore. We will be celebrating a Packers victory over the Bears, as I said, with everybody here and with this guy, our bobblehead, Mean Gene. Take it away.